Hello everyone, Rishi this side. So today we'll look into this cool pixel reveal effect in Figma. You can not only use this on text but also on images as well. It's a pretty simple masking technique. Once you understand it, you can use it on any kind of object you want to reveal with such kind of animated experience. And moreover, you can update the text on the go and the effect will remain the same. So let's get started. With our pixel effect first, let's just take the frame tool and draw a frame. Let's make it 50 by 50. Make sure to lock the dimensions here and let's zoom in a bit and rename it to maybe pixel mask, and let's remove the background. Let's take our rectangle tool, draw a rectangle here. Height should be equivalent to the parent 50, width can be 1 pixel. Let's align it to the left and top, and let's do one more thing. Let's move this, let's rename it to fill and move it outside the frame. So basically it's 1 pixel minus 1 pixel in the x-axis, so that initially we won't see anything. So let's convert this into a component. Let's add a variant here, and in this variant what we'll do, we'll increase the width all the way to the 50 pixel. Now before we do anything else, let's fix the constraints. So let me just show you. So we want this component to be able to resize and adjust, and still the animation should be working fine. So to do that, we need to fix few constraints to the child elements. So let's select the first fill and let's give it a constraint of top left. Press shift and then click this one, top left and bottom. So what this will do, so anytime, let me just turn off the clip content. So anytime I resize this component, the fill will also resize it according to its constraint. So right now the constraint is top left and bottom, so what it implies that it should be adhering the constraint of its parent from the top left and bottom side of the component. So anytime I expand this, it should adhere the bottom constraint, left constraint and top constraint. So what if we have just kept it only top and left? So as you can see, it is not adhering the bottom constraint. So let's revert it back to the top left and bottom, and similarly for the second variant we'll use top left, bottom and right constraint for all sides. So which means anytime I resize this variant, my fill will always be equivalent to the size of its parent component. So let's delete it and let's just take a copy of this, zoom out a bit, let's just paste it here, and let me just turn on the stroke for a while. This is just for a temporary purpose. Let's zoom in a bit, and here you can see here's our fill mask. Let's align it. Let's select these two layers and hit use mask. So as you can see, the mask is applied and right now it's just revealing through the stroke. Now let's just add the animation here. Go to the prototype window, draw a noodle out of this to the second variant, and let's use after delay. So what after delay will do, it will automatically trigger the animation based on this delay timer. So let's say after 100 milliseconds we want to change it to the second variant, and the effect should be smart animate. So whenever you're using smart animate, make sure the layer and the sequences in both the variants are same. So in our case both the layers have the same name, so this should work fine. And let's just make it to a custom bezier, and let's add a time of 1000 milliseconds for now. So we can edit this later as well. So let me just show you how the effect will work. So let's select this one and go to the prototype window and see things in action. So right now you can see our one pixel is laid out. So we can turn off the stroke, and yeah, so that's it. That's the technique. So now what we need to do is, we have this one mask component available and we'll be making a different copies of this, and let me just show you how to place these things. So let's remove this from the mask a bit for a while, sorry. Let's turn on the stroke for a while, and let's hit Command D or Control D to copy it. Select these both the variants and apply an auto layout. So let's call it maybe pixel grid. Okay, so let's expand this pixel grid from left to bottom. So basically this depends upon how much area you want to cover in your design, whether it's image or whether it's text, or if you're using a text, you know that it won't expand till this width. So based on that you can adjust the grid size, and select this pixel grid and let's change its positioning from vertical layout to wrap. So what it will do, it will start wrapping the content as soon as the content hits on this side of the grid. So before that, let's just add bit of a variation here. So select the second one, let's rotate it by 90 degree, and let's override the delay interaction as well. So instead of 100 milliseconds we want it to be triggered after 300 milliseconds. So you can make the whole grid as a mask. So let me just rearrange it here for better understanding. Let's just select the pixel grid, turn on the mask, and here you can see, I think I need to reload the tab. Figma does this sometimes. So right now we have a variation here. So similarly we can add couple of more variations. So before doing that, let's adjust the animation style. Go again to the parent component, select this after delay noodle, and here let's increase the time a bit, maybe 2000 milliseconds, and adjust this graph. So what it will essentially do, it will start slow and gradually gain speed and end on a slower level. So to add bit of personality here, we'll just expand this to the left side, this arm. Now what it will do, it will start slow, it will gain speed instantly, and gradually it will slow down. So you can see the difference, right? Okay, cool. Now since we're happy with the animation timing and effect, Let's add a couple of more variations here. Select the second instance, Command D, and let's again rotate it, and instead of 300 milliseconds maybe we want it to be 500 milliseconds. And one more copy, and let's rotate it again, and let's add a delay of maybe 200 again. So once you're happy with the number of variations you want to make, you just need to select all of them, copy and paste. Now this is something we need to do multiple times to fill out the space we want to cover here. I think this should be good enough. Let's center it out. And make sure to make the height hugs content. And make sure there is no distance between your instances and no padding on the bottom, top, left, right side of the component. So let's turn off the stroke and let's see things in action. Cool. So this was the technique behind creating this pixel grid. Now if you want to change your text, you can just select it. I know you can't see it right now. You can either assign a variable so that you can change it dynamically, or you can just hit enter and it will go in edit mode and you can change your text. You can it's hard to type when you can't see. Cool. So the technique is to make your pixel grid according to your needs, whatever area you want to cover. And let's say if you want to have lesser pixels, I mean you want to have less components but bigger pixels, so you can select everything and you can resize it maybe to 100. Now I think they are pretty big right now. Let's bump it down a bit, 80, and let's move it a bit up using arrow keys. I need to reload the tab, I guess. Cool. Now let's make a copy of the same pixel mask and try a different thing with the image as shown in the previous example. So let's take our ellipse tool and draw an ellipse 50 by 50. Let's rename it to fill. Command X or Control X, cut and paste. Let's delete the previous fill, and we need to do the same thing. Let's move it out of the frame so that we are not seeing it at the beginning. And let's set the constraints for this as well. Copy and paste here, delete the previous one, adjust the constraints, and let's just resize this so that it covers the whole mask. Okay, so our constraints are set, everything is set. We already have the after delay animation here. So let's just see this in action here in this frame. Go underneath the image. Let's make a couple of copies here. Let's put them in a grid. Auto layout 0. Change the direction from horizontal to wrap. Let's place it here at the top of the page. Now what you can do is you can expand this grid to the width of the image, and let's create variation here. And delay, so let's just keep the delay same for a bit. Let's try a different effect. Let's log it. So the first one, no rotation. For the second one we have rotation, and for the third one we don't have any rotation. So let's copy these and let me just turn off the image for a while, and let's turn on the stroke. Turn on the stroke on the parent frame as well, just to fill out the space easily. And let's say Control C, Control V, 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 V. So right now I think we already have too many pixels available. Let's just scale them up. So select the pixel grid, hit enter to select all the children. Select your scale tool or hit K, and let's just see how it looks on 2x. It will take some time. Okay, and let's go again in the scale tool settings, and let's see how we can fill this area as well. We need to reduce it. Almost there. By the way, I'm reducing the size using arrow keys. Since we have too many instances, Figma is taking some time to update everything in the viewport. I think this works. So let's just delete the extra instances from here so that we can save up some memory space. Select this one, and you can see the layer is selected. Hit shift and go all the way down and click to select all the variants, and let's just delete them. Let's rename it to pixel mask oval. Okay, let's switch back to our selection tool. Turn off the stroke. Turn off the stroke. Let's show our image. Select both the elements, hit mask, and let's see how it's looking. So by the way, if you want to add a flow name so that you can select directly this frame from the sidebar in the prototype window, select this, go to the prototype window and click this flow starting point. You can say it pixel image. Let's do the same thing with the text as well. Pixel text. So now if you go into the prototype window, you see this sidebar, you can switch between these two. Nice. I guess this is better than the original one as well. So this is it. This was the basic technique behind this pixel or mask reveal effect. You can add your own variations, try with multiple layers, just go crazy. Let me know in the comments how you feel. Thanks again. Bye bye.